This week on The Big Room, it's the hair.
Yeah, the hair.
I really liked the frizzed out 90s hair.
Yeah.
I thought it was groovy.
Yeah, the college, big hair, I was like, oh, but I'm just jealous of anybody that has hair, so.
I wish I had Meg Ryan's hair. He's looked at the whole movie.
I would do such crazy stuff with Meg Ryan's hair.
I could brush it.
Imagine Carl with Farrah Fawcett just waving.
Oh my god.
I'm getting thumbnail ideas.
Brush it 100 times. Yeah. Oh man.
Welcome back to The Big Room, where mercifully we close out Romcom month with When Harry Met Sally ... God. It's the most Gen X movie title
It was
of all
just
time.
in the title screen. It's not in.
It is.
It wasn't on the movie
Subtext.
cover. Or
No,
anything.
it's on the Wikipedia. When Harry Met
Oh,
Sally ...
really? All right. Well,
dot.
that makes it official then.
It's bad.
It's on Wikipedia.
My dad does ellipses all the time. And it's like, be right over ... because I need his help with like my sink. And I read it as, oh, be right over. Gotta help my dumb, thin son fix his sink. It's the worst. Too weak to turn the crescent wrench. I did my sink by
you
myself.
did do the sink by yourself.
But anything electrical, I'm like, this spicy. I don't want it this spicy.
I really wanted you to call him though, because you were really angry.
I was so
you were
mad.
Really angry.
But that's what kept
I was
me going.
Just call your dad.
Because every time I change my oil with my dad, and really all he does at this point is like hand me the socket wrench while I'm under my car and stuff, because I've got it down now. He's like, I'm not going to be around forever. So I'm like under my sink, cussing, spitting, furious, like he's going to be dead. I got to do it myself. It was the worst. It was the worst.
You've got a lot of years left.
I hope so.
It's okay.
I don't know.
It's healthy.
At least you know how to do it. I have no idea, and I have to pay somebody to do it.
Plumbing is bullshit. It's so enraging. It makes me furious.
Yeah.
And bathroom plumbing, I feel like, has got to be easier than what I did, because wow, it's just hot and cold. There's not all the
There's no
shit.
garbage
There's just
disposal.
garbage disposals and dishwashers, and I tried to get one of the cup things, and I still haven't fixed it.
No.
Nope, still not usable. It's got like crumbs in it now, and I can't use it because it pours water in the cabinet. Who cares? No one's here to listen to
Why
me.
do we need hot and cold water? Why don't we just have warm water come out?
Cleanliness.
The decision process be a lot easier.
I don't know. I don't have time for that. When Harry Met Sally, or when Mike Wazowski Met Sally, is a 1989 romantic comedy drama film. Drama, I guess. As much drama as any other rom-com on planet Earth.
I mean,
It's a
I feel
weird
like
denotation
for
to me.
rom-coms, this is kind of a less dramatic one.
Yeah.
Until the
last
pinnacle of
20
the will
minutes.
they won't they, but it's like they're going to. And
Yeah, because it's a rom-com.
yeah.
That's the thing with
There's
these.
way more
is
dramatic.
It's not. These are rom-coms as a genre is like the epitome of it's the journey, not the destination, because you know the ending.
Yeah.
It's a rom-com.
As
They're
far as
gonna end up
grand
together.
romantic gents, oh my god, I
Hey,
can't talk.
take two.
Grand romantic gestures.
Grand romantic gestures.
This one's kind of weak. Like, I saw an article that told you how far he ran. He only ran for like 6 minutes to get to where she was.
Yeah,
There's way bigger romantic gestures.
I can't run for 6 minutes.
Yeah, the guy in Back to
depends
the
on who
Future
you are.
ran way further than
If
that.
I ran 6 minutes, that's impressive.
The stakes in this movie
They're using a chip.
are non-existent. They're so low.
So is a good plot and
Oh,
Ooh.
compelling characters and a lot of stuff not existent.
This
Wow.
movie is. Hey, let's talk about it. So my first note is the ellipses and made me mad. My second note is Harry Burns is a terrible name for a character.
Burns.
That's the best they could get. Harry Burns.
Harry Burns. Yeah.
I'm not even mad about Harry, but make him Harry Alexander. Make him Harry, not Harry Burns. Sounds like a shitty Simpsons character.
HB.
I worked
HB.
at a company one time that had a client named Harry Butler, and I could never.
That's worse.
I
That's
could
amazing.
I could never talk to him on the phone. I would see him calling, and I would just be like, "Hi, Mr. Butler." Like,
Harry,
like,
how's your
what's
hairy
happening?
butt?
Like, it was bad. Not
Wow.
not profesh. But I was like 19.
That's hard.
There's another All in the Family connection. Second
Really?
rom-com in a row. All in the Family connection. The guy that directed this is Meathead in All in the Family. The liberal son.
I don't.
Son-in-law.
Libs.
Reiner?
Rob Reiner, yeah, he's Meathead.
Yeah, Rob Reiner. Okay.
So there you go, All in the Family fans. You're all dead.
Wow.
No, it's all our parents. They all loved All in the Family.
I never watched it.
I like the soundtrack. Louis Armstrong, Ella Fitzgerald, Frank Sinatra. It was rocking. And by rocking, I mean it was easy listening.
And
It's a vibe.
That's what I like.
It's a vibe.
and all the music was composed by Harry Connick Jr.
That's
Apparently,
pretty
was
cool.
his like breakout. Like this was before he had his own music.
Neat. He's just like
Yeah.
making burned CDs for movies, essentially.
Yeah.
This
No.
one's
He
good.
like the backing
Summer
music,
mix.
not the songs.
Okay. So
He wasn't
didn't
just
make
making
the
a
soundtrack.
playlist.
Yeah.
He
not
made a
on
playlist.
1989 iTunes, like me.
Frank Sinatra's good, right?
I remember
like that.
Hey, Sinatra was still alive.
People like
Yeah, I don't know. This plot is it starts dumb because it's like I guess she's driving him to New York and their relationship is not really established. I guess I inferred that she's the
friends with
friend of the
his
girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's really loose.
But it's interesting that like they're both just like, yeah, we're moving to New York.
Yeah.
Just that's what we want to do.
Guess
We're going.
you'll drive me.
Cool.
Hopefully you're not an axe murderer.
Well, he's dating her friend,
It's the
so she
80s.
knows he's not a murderer.
It is a different time.
But
You never know.
he's immediately a villain because he the first thing he does in the car is pulls grapes out of nowhere.
Grape?
and
And then spits them at the window.
they're seeded grapes. Can you think of a thing
Who
that
eats
would
seeded
make
grapes?
Can you think of a singular food item that would make David Ward angrier than seeded grapes?
Didn't
He,
even know you
ar-
could
he
get those,
already hates
yeah.
grapes because he refuses to eat them because he has to pick them off the vine, and that should have been
No.
done already.
No.
And now we're adding a seed implement. So
That
he,
should have been
if he ever
done
watches
already.
this movie,
Oh my
That's
God.
hilarious.
he's not going to make it in
Don't tell
15
him.
minutes. He'll be shaking with rage. Oh, he's listening.
He's just come around to sauce though, right? So maybe Grace will like.
He
That's
doesn't
a
like
wild
sauce
take.
still. Remember,
Does he eat
remember
spicy?
when we
Does
took him?
you have to take their hats off, like
Were you at Feta when he got the burger and it had tzuki sauce on it, and he was the angriest man?
and he tried to keep it contained. He's like, "That's fine." And you're just
He
like,
couldn't eat it. It's like it's so gross. He's still not really bought into sauce.
Tzatziki, I guess, is pretty polarizing, but yeah,
It
it was
is.
just
It's
like,
a polarizing
it's like
sauce.
That's
it was
different.
like any sauce.
It's kind of like
so funny.
it's kind of like ranch with battery acid in it. It's a weird sauce.
I
No.
like tzatziki.
I like
It's got
tzatziki.
cucumber
I
and
like
dill. It's got a
tzatziki.
nice, refreshing. I was gonna say when they got into the car and they were kind of like butting heads, it reminded me of Smokey and the Bandit a little bit. How they kind
Like
of
the
had their meet cute,
the
like the
frog.
first 5 minutes.
Yeah. When Frog gets in the car with Bandit.
Which set my hopes up really high.
Man,
So
we should just watch that again.
Is Smokey
That's
and the
a
Bandit
rom-com,
a
right?
rom-com?
Sure.
Kind of.
let us know in the chat.
We're idiots for the
Yeah.
rom-com we're idiots for not watching is Shrek. Should have watched Shrek.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of like just YouTube videos about movies and movie reviews, and so I keep getting recommended ones about how Shrek is a rom-com.
It's a good movie.
And like
it's a
the
rom-com.
title of one of these videos was like good writing versus bad writing, and it was like a check mark with Shrek, and I was like, oh my god, and like
Shrek is great.
Dude, DreamWorks
I need to
Shrek
is
is
revisit that
crushing
great.
it.
one.
Crushing it in the late 90s, early 2000s. They talk about Casablanca. That's kind of
lot.
neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talk about it a lot.
And we understood that reference. It was
I-
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with Harry on it. I'm like, you go with Humphrey Bogart over Laszlo, IMO. Like you stay there and he runs a cool groovy bar and there's piano music and it's rad. Or you go with this wooden guy whose only contribution to the movie is that he's marrying the love interest. That's the
Yeah,
only
he's
reason that guy
morally
exists.
good.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
his fault that the movie focuses on
A cooler guy.
the bad boy.
Hey, I mean, while we're in rom-coms, you leave the boring guy for the interesting one. That's what we learned from You've Got Mail
That's true.
and this movie.
Yeah.
Sally later recanted though, and she went the other way, right? Didn't she like later
I think she
change her
did.
position? Yeah. So she came around.
I
That
don't
was just in
know.
her youth
And
that she held that
I
position.
don't remember.
The early tagline, yeah. It's one of the things where she doesn't remember because he like almost remembers everything and she remembers very little from their
Yeah.
college journey.
Because they, in the span of this movie, they knew each other for like 30 years or 10 years, 20
like
years or
10.
something.
and
Okay.
Did they?
Like,
Yeah, that's
Or did they see each
Yeah.
other once every 10 years?
It was every 5 years for 15
it was
years.
once every. So it was like a 5-year time gap of not seeing each other, and then I think another 5-year time gap, and then they saw each other all the time.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's like
So after the first like couple jumps, they were then friends.
after the first decade.
yeah, I
Then
think it's
they-
2 time jumps before they start.
And that's the thing too, is that's like kind of the early tagline for the film is men can't be friends. I dropped my
Oh,
phone.
he dropped
Here,
his
I'll
phone.
do it.
oh,
I'll do the golf clap. I'll do it.
Can't
I am
drop
not
his
above
phone.
reproach. It hurt too. That hit my
a
little
big phone.
ankle.
The little
It's a
toes.
big phone. My Samsung Gigantor, as Jeff Davis would call it.
Gigantor.
And he's so that's kind of the
Plot?
plot. Yeah, one of the linchpin lines is that men can't be friends with women because the sex always gets in the way. And she is not about it, and then she is about it, and then he's not about it over the time jumps. And narratively, I have beef with the time jumps, but they're not the thing that I think they're a little lazy. And I think that not just that, I don't mind a time jump, but God, we had like 2 or 3
Too much.
in the
Yeah.
first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was like, ugh, the part of the narrative device that I hated way more, the most unnecessary part of the
Completely
movie.
unnecessary. I
and
already know what you're
the
gonna say.
Payoff was not worth it. Was the piece to camera interviews with the couples
Stupid.
where they're like, he traveled 9 whole floors to talk to me in the elevator.
Romance.
And it was just it took any pacing that the movie had and just went
Right.
and threw it
'Cause
out
it
of
was
the window.
already way too quick going through stuff.
Really quick.
But
and
any chance I had,
you thought it was
kinda,
quick?
yes, but it felt quick because it was substanceless, largely. Like we have
yeah.
those
See-
time jumps where we're at one conversation.
Wow.
5 years later, and I don't
And
know.
any chance I had of like latching onto these
Huh.
characters, they took me out of it by going back to these interviews.
people are going to be
I felt
so
like
mad
the
because we don't like this
pacing was.
movie.
I wanted to love it, but I felt like
Dude.
the pacing was slow, and I was like, "This is an hour and a half, and it feels like it could be 40
I
minutes."
normally,
I'm also not to be both sidesy, but I'm also
Be both
I
sidesy.
felt that too when we were watching the movie for the first. So I feel like it feels quick to our point, to Nick and I's point. I feel like it feels quick in retrospect, but to Carl's point, when I was watching the first half of the movie up until we get to where they're hanging out all the time and they're going to the park and they're going to the museums and they're going to the store, then I felt like we got into a good groove and I felt like the beginning was a little slow. But I think it feels slow in the moment and then afterwards it feels quick because not a lot, we're
It's
time
almost
jumping
just
after singular
all-
conversations. almost.
Yeah, it's just all dialogue the whole movie. Like,
Yeah. Well,
there's really not much else.
There's no
Well, but-
Spider-Man's not in it,
But yeah, but I feel like even in
it's
like
not a
You've Got
musical.
Mail,
We
there
get
were,
it. You
like-
don't like musicals.
I don't know. It just felt like I don't know,
When it's
really,
enough
really
explosions.
slow. And maybe it's because like I don't know, Billy Crystal's delivery was kind of monotone or just kind of like emotionless. So maybe
such a
that just made it
dry-
feel very. Yeah, but he was so smug too.
He's me.
Oh.
No, he's
yeah.
Yeah.
He,
That's what she kept saying.
There were
but
things
you
he
have
would
personality. He has no personality.
No, he has personality. His personality, though, is his wit. So he's not a. He's like if you leveled me out a bit because I can get really excited and really pissed off
He
about you
stays
forgetting your
there.
headphones today. And his waves are. He's just a tighter radio wavelength.
Yeah.
So I liked him. I thought he was a cool character. I thought Meg Ryan was a little. I don't know. I thought she
I liked her more in this than in You've Got Mail. I think 'cause she was more maybe more grounded. She just seems so like head in the pie in the sky, and You've Got Mail. It was just like
I just
not.
feel like she
both-
plays a
I'm
more
trying to
vapid
think of
character
her.
in this one.
Yeah, she's
They're both
She's
kinda awful.
terrible to waiters. She's fussy.
complicated.
God,
too.
yeah, her orders.
People like that make me want to make me want to chew glass. I hate it
Yum.
so much. The menu
Maybe I just think
is
she's hotter in this
not
one.
a suggestion.
I think she is hotter. It's the hair.
Yeah, the hair.
I really
100%.
liked the frizzed out 90s hair.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah,
groovy.
The college, like, big hair, I was like, oh, but I'm just jealous of anybody that has hair, so.
Same. Big same.
I wish I had Meg Ryan's hair. He's like the whole movie.
I would do such crazy stuff with Meg Ryan's hair.
I could brush it.
Imagine Carl with Farrah Fawcett just waves.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I
I'm
would
getting
brush it,
thumbnail
I could
ideas.
brush it 100 times. Yeah. Oh man.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Let me think. Oh,
Both.
Go ahead.
Both of these characters are. I'm fine with them being unlikable in the beginning, but they never get more likable towards the end for me.
They don't really change.
They don't change.
Harry doesn't.
They both.
change.
Harry's got a
doesn't-
little
This
bit of
is
a
the movie for me.
softness, but
The movie is 30 years of these characters going, I can't be with anyone. This guy's always around. Might as well be with him. The end.
Well, but it takes them an hour and a half to get to that point, though.
yeah, it did seem like
That's
they
what's
were
kind of
just
frustrating about
delaying
it.
an obvious answer. Yeah.
Is they both friends on themselves, and then they bone, and then he gives her the response that she wants, and then she gets mad about it. Which,
It's like they can't be happy.
screw you, man, because
They can't let themselves be happy.
Yeah, they're creating their own drama and their own problems. Yeah.
It's a really frustrating plot to observe, and then the ending could not have been less satisfying. But we're jumping too far ahead. I want to talk about something that happened in the diner scene, the first diner scene when they're on the way to New York.
Oh, okay.
When she was wearing that god awful outfit.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad.
And she's talking about
What was she wearing? Remind me.
It was like a baggy shirt and like baggy shorts that went like
Oh, with, like,
Bermuda shorts and knee
Yeah, it was
socks.
like safari shorts.
yeah.
Okay.
With
yeah.
knee socks.
yeah, but the shorts were
No.
really high waisted
Everyone. Yeah.
and really long, so they were
Yeah.
just the
This is
worst.
trash.
Oh, man.
But as soon as they walked in the diner, in the background of the diner, the song "Ramblin' Man" is playing. And every time I hear Ramblin' Man, I cannot help. And Carl, I think you're literally one episode away, or you've heard this already. No, I don't know. No, you have to have heard this already. I think of this.
Lord, I am making poopy sand. Pooping in a bucket and adding a scoop of sand. Lord knows I got a big supply, but there ain't that much demand. Lord, I'm making poopy sand. I sell it from an abandoned van. Yeah. The recipe was handed down to me by my old man. It's basically a bucket which I poop inside, then I add a handful of sand. Lord, I'm making poopy sand.
Oh my
I think
God.
of that every time. I
God.
can't. And so now, ever since we heard that last night, I've been singing Poopy Sand all day.
And I'm gonna be
man.
singing it now.
It's
all day
basically
tomorrow.
a
Thank
bucket that I poop inside, and I add a handful of sand.
You.
Recipe from my old man.
Oh my god!
You can kind of tell where it's going. Is just knowing that is like, oh, so much
Good.
fun.
It's
Oh,
good. It's
great.
good. That's from Harmontown, the greatest podcast in the world that you should listen to instead
It
of
really
this one.
is.
It's called
I've only
Poopy
mentioned
Sand.
it several times.
Well, not this episode. You know, maybe
No,
this
you're
is
right,
someone's
you're right.
first one, and they need to hear that they should
It
listen
just
to a
I just
better.
mean it comes up a lot in
better
our
podcast.
in
Well,
our
yeah.
movie journey.
It's my entire personality.
That's true.
So yeah, Poopy Sand. That's and that's the end of the episode. Good night, everybody. No, I'm just kidding.
Go listen to Poopy Sand.
So yeah, that's when she does the long ordering. Then he brings up. I don't remember where this is. I think this is when they're in the airport, or on the plane, or after the plane. It's when they're not quite friends yet, and he talks about him dancing. And he calls the dance move the white
yeah.
man's overbite, which is just the
Yeah,
best.
that was on the airplane.
Oh, I missed that.
It's the best.
The white man's.
Yeah, the
Pretty
white
good.
man's overbite. It's just, you
Yeah.
know, overbite and then
I was probably on my phone scrolling
yeah,
through
probably
Wow.
Twitter.
on
Oh,
TikTok.
Nick.
You're still on Twitter?
Yeah.
Nazi.
There's too many people still on there.
Nah, Threads is good.
I'm still on Twitter too.
A bunch of just Elon Musk advocates. Not on my
I love
podcast.
Elon Musk.
If you'd like to be on the Big Room, write to us at thebigRoomPod@gmail.com. I need people
Wow.
who don't be on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, did we get any date requests?
Nope.
Oh,
Me
did
and
we
Nick?
check?
Nope.
Dang.
We'll never know.
No, I get noties for emails. I didn't get any.
Okay, good.
Carrie Fisher's in this movie,
Carrie Fisher. Well,
Yeah.
that was a nice surprise.
and it's kind of weird.
Only seen her in Star Wars, so
She's affecting a bit of an accent.
She's not in a whole lot more.
No.
Nope, she's not. Star Wars. She's one of the actors that Star Wars basically ruined her career because she couldn't be in anything else.
yeah.
There's only two careers really survived Star Wars, and it's Mark Hamill, but he only did voice
Harrison
work,
Ford.
and Harrison
Yeah.
Ford, who was able to keep being an actor.
He was also. You got it. Go for it.
No, you started first.
He was
Harrison Ford?
considered for the role of Harry.
That's
in
a
this movie.
much different movie.
Wow.
I think he could do it
Yeah.
though.
Oh
Yeah, it would-
100%.
Like you can.
And by
He
much-
has the right vibe.
And by
The
much
kind of
different, you
cranky,
mean better.
curmudgeon-y.
No,
Yeah.
because he'd be too cranky.
Yeah.
Not too cranky, but he would be significantly crankier.
Way
It would
crankier.
not be a copy paste. It would be a much different feel.
And,
because he
um,
doesn't have his charm is much different than Billy Crystal's
Keep her
charm.
down.
Yeah, throw the dog on the ground because she'll jump and fall and break her other leg and
Poor baby.
be $1 million.
Tom Hanks was also
That
rumored.
seems obvious.
but-
Like that's when you could copy paste. It's about the same movie.
Yeah.
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 I think Billy
They
Crystal's
kind
a
of have the
little
same
more
hair.
Yeah. Billy Crystal's a little bit more. I don't know. Cynically.
Well, he's a comic,
Yeah.
right? So he's probably got that. Yeah.
Maybe it's just
Sharp
his
tongue.
voice that makes me make me think he's more.
And he wasn't
Rougher
very
on the edges.
He wasn't very Mike Wazowski for the whole movie, and then past a certain point, I don't know if
Wait.
I just got used to it or
He played Mike.
Yeah.
I didn't. Don't
Have you
don't
not seen-
react that
have you
way.
not seen
Yes, I've
Monsters, Inc.?
seen it.
Did you listen to it?
I mean, it makes sense now.
Put that thing
I
back
didn't
where
put
it
two
came
and two
from.
together.
oh, so help me. That's a good movie.
That wasn't a. You're making me feel dumb. That
where it
wasn't
came
a
from.
dumb thing to not pick up on.
That's widely known, right? It's Billy Crystal and John Goodman.
Well, whatever.
John Goodman was in that movie?
I played the fifth.
Of course, you're kidding.
Oh no. Carl's just twisting the knife further in.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
I said when we were
It's a
watching
chain
it,
singer.
I said, you don't get it. You don't get the laugh. You haven't seen it.
I have heard that.
Oh, you've heard Chain
Okay.
Singers. All right. Hey, in about 100
Well, they
hours,
don't
you
exist.
can,
They're still there.
you'll get there. Carrie Fisher in the late 80s. It's weird to see. So I'm used to, obviously, Star Wars Carrie Fisher and then, like, old Carrie Fisher from interviews and stuff in her 60s. So it just felt like she was missing something. Missing something. Missing maybe cinnamon buns on the side of her head.
Buns.
No, that's reducing her to a character, which is the only thing she's known for.
Well,
So
she's iconic for that character.
You're the
though,
problem.
so.
I don't know. I don't know if it was the hair. I don't know if it was just the additional 10 or so years. I don't know, but it felt a little just different. I don't know.
Like
I
old
think she was
Uncanny
affecting
Valley.
a little bit of an accent too.
Trying to be New York.
That she then dropped later in the movie, which I thought was interesting. Like, I don't know.
I did really like their side character story.
Really
they
good
were
side
good.
characters.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
that they were meant to be together.
Yeah, like
the,
this-
just
Yeah.
instant chemistry.
Harry's guy is kind of like
Mary.
just a beer guy, like
Yeah.
90s beer guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then-
that is kind of, yeah. They show how easy it can be when people are just easygoing and how complicated it is when you make it complicated. Like,
And I liked when Harry
Drama
and his
nerds.
pal, one of the things, when they're in the football game, they're watching the
Yeah.
Giants. And I thought it was just really funny how the wave interrupted their conversation 3 times.
that was fun. Yeah.
And they're just having their normal conversation, and then they stand up and do the wave, which is super groovy. You got to do the wave.
Yep.
at a
It's a
sport.
depressing conversation,
But
too.
again-
Always went to
That's
support.
that's
yeah.
the cool
But
juxtaposition.
with no emotion.
Yeah.
No, they just like, and this is the thing we do.
Yeah.
And then they got back to their talk. The best part is after they did it 2 times, I turned to Danielle and I went, they're going to do a third and it's going to end the scene. And
Yep.
100% what happened. And she was like, his comedy comes in 3s. Absolutely. That was great.
Yep.
I loved it.
I had a note about the football game too. Nobody was wearing like team colors. It
No.
was all just normal clothes, and I was like, did people not do that back then, or is that a new thing? Like when
No,
I guess jerseys became available, or like
I thought it was maybe a licensing
was it
thing.
a license? Yeah.
But then
It was-
they showed the whole ass New York Giants on the field. Like they got
Yes.
a game film for that.
They must have just been like, we need people now, and we don't. I guess the budget would be like, if we got everybody here the
They
right
used
colors,
all-
it would be insane.
Way too
Like,
much.
They used all their Giants licensing money for that 5-second establishing shot of the football team on the field.
Yeah, I just thought that was so funny. I was like, no one's wearing team colors, but everyone's in full support of the wave.
I didn't even notice. that
They're
they
just
were
in
colors.
1990s sweaters. It's the whole
Yeah.
crowd.
They were there for the wave. That's all.
So funny. Yeah.
I wrote Billy Crystal has really good lines, and I didn't write any of them down. So how good were they?
Same.
So we rented this movie
Yeah.
on
Did.
on Amazon.
I bought it.
It was 50 more cents to buy it
Yeah.
on Amazon, whatever.
Of all the
I
movies
didn't get a
to
rent
buy.
option. Yeah, I had to buy it too.
I don't know. Danielle found it because I was looking and I couldn't find a rent option either. But you know, the woman. This is why women are better than us because they can find.
We
the
looked
rent
with our
option.
man eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, our man eyes.
Your man eyes.
The captions were pissing me off. Did you catch it? Are y'all captions people?
I actually have a problem with. I played this on my TV from the Amazon app, and the audio never lined up right, and it was
Oh.
driving me absolutely.
It
Did that happen to you too?
Wasn't just that.
That has happened to me. It didn't
That's
happen-
terrible. That
Okay.
didn't happen.
It didn't
That's
happen to me.
terrible.
I paused it and restarted. I went to Netflix and Hulu and checked other videos to see if it was like the whole TV, if I
Yeah.
had some like refresh thing going on. It was just Amazon Prime, and it like got so bad that I kind of just like stopped watching the full way. I just kind of like turned to just hear it. It made me so angry.
That happened
and I was
to
just
me.
like, whatever.
The other weekend, I was trying to watch Casablanca and fell asleep because I put it on to take a nap because I'd seen it. And there's no.
It really,
yeah, the
makes
captions were out of sync. But in this
spine-
movie, they're censored. So all the bad language had substitutes.
Yep.
And it was
Oh.
really pissing me off.
strange.
I don't
even remember examples. Some of them were
What? I feel
like I would've
ridiculous.
noticed.
One, they say the F word and it says slept.
Yeah.
I said the F word here.
So it's
but,
like
you know.
you slept me, and it was like what?
Yeah.
It's dumb. There's another couple. There was several other ones, like anything that was sexual or referred
Yeah.
to a phallus, like anything. It was all censored, and it was just the worst.
I guess I never saw that as. I mean, I didn't pay attention. I didn't notice that. But like sometimes the captions will be will be different, and
do
I
it to
just
yourself.
assume it's because the actor's improving or something,
Well, and-
or they strayed from the script,
What-
but the captions are still the script.
Sometimes that happens, but the egregious part of it is, what if you're deaf? You watched
Yeah.
a worse movie because they
yeah.
censored the captions.
Somehow worse.
It's ridiculous.
Huh.
Because then there are literal whole lines, parts of conversations that are crucial at
did you-
pivotal moments that won't make sense.
What did you watch it on?
Prime?
Did you notice that, Carl?
I didn't
He was side-eyeing it.
That's
He
right.
was
You
so
weren't
mad.
even looking at them.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're
It was
different
watching
because I rented it.
ugly. It was like just off enough, or I was like, ugh.
I bought it through Apple TV, so maybe they're different there.
The sick man moan. I do the sick man moan.
That was
Yes.
funny.
That was funny. They're watching
That
it
scene
again,
was funny.
Casablanca.
And then I
The
forget.
cross-cut phone bed call when they
Yeah,
after
yeah.
they slept with each other. That was
Yeah.
a funny one too. There was a lot of really good scenes. Yeah,
I
but
liked
just
the-
I don't
overall,
hate Harry.
There was
I
one.
Think he's
No,
fine.
I like him.
But I'm married to you, and you do a lot of sarcasm, so I'm used to it.
He did a little
my-
voice at one
it's my
point. It was
type.
kind of funny.
In the museum, like when you
Yeah,
started.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that scene is my.
What store was that?
I don't
It
know.
was like
It's like a
don't
SC
know.
on TV store, but weird.
something.
A
Yeah, it was just
sharper
all
image.
random stuff.
A sharper image.
yeah.
So the scene you're talking about though, where he's doing the voice, I like that scene for a couple reasons. For one, Sally is wearing a sweater in that scene that she had on in a couple scenes prior, and I feel like not enough wardrobe departments will recycle clothes, but it kind of grounded her in a way that was pleasing. Like, oh,
that's cool,
if
yeah.
you were me, you'd wear the same thing every day, but the same thing more than once, which is nice. We don't get a lot of that.
Yeah.
Two, that museum scene had the best shot aesthetically of the entire movie. At one point, they're having a conversation about, I think it's about dinner or something.
Yeah, I think she's a date. Ooh.
She has a date. The dog is breaking the set. And they cut to a wide where they're standing in front of this massive window, and it's fall trees, really orange, groovy New York fall trees outside, and the camera's exposed for the trees. So it's really dark, and they're almost silhouetted against this really cool background of a fall, big old tree in this museum window. And it was, that's not really
That's
the only,
nice.
not that I'm like, oh, cinematography, because I'm not Carl, but that's the, that's
that's
the
my
one
shtick.
scene.
Yeah.
It's the one scene where I was like, that looks really good.
Let me make you like that scene a little more. That little voice he did was improvised. That whole scene
Cool.
was improvised.
Great. I
And
love
there's
that.
a part where she's laughing in response to him doing that, and she looks over at the director, and apparently he was just like, "Keep going,
Keep going. Don't look at me.
Yeah,
I like that. After that was the fake orgasm scene, which is the only scene from this movie that I had seen.
Same.
I
Everybody
recognized
knows
some of
that
the
scene.
costuming, Like there was a certain gray sweater that Harry was
Yeah.
wearing with some sneakers that was like, I've seen that before. But the fake orgasm scene is like, that's one of the big scenes from the movie.
Yeah.
It's one of the only memorable scenes
The
from
big
the movie.
scene from the
The
movie.
big one.
And wow, it's uncomfortable. But it ends with
But
Yeah.
funny.
the cherry on top is the "I'll have what she's having" line from the
Oh
old
my
lady.
god,
Do
that's
you know
perfect.
this
10
fact?
out of 10.
Dang.
Is there
Me
a
and
fact?
Nick look at the same fact. Nick, you take it.
Well, I don't remember his name. Go.
So it's Billy Crystal. It was Billy Crystal's idea to have that line in it, and it's delivered by Rob Reiner's mom, the director's mom.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
He puts his mom in it.
He puts
and
his
she
mom
gives
in
the
it.
best line
The line.
in the movie.
Yeah.
I'll have what she's having.
And I guess there's like a plaque on that table now in the in the deli
Oh,
because it's
that's
still
great.
around.
You got to go see the plaque.
I know. I've thought about
You're
going.
going to New York.
I'm
You
going to
gotta
New
see
York
the plaque.
in like 2 weeks.
You're going to New York in a couple weeks.
Gotta go take a picture with the plaque.
So I also
God, if
thought.
I didn't,
Oh, go
if I
ahead,
didn't have
Carl.
my audio at like 90 when she did that scene, oh my god, it was the loudest, and I was like, turn it down, holy shit! It was
I
like,
did. I did the same
So-
thing. I was like, my neighbors.
yeah, and I was like, it's still going on. And I was like, oh my god, turn it down.
It goes for a
It
long
goes for a long time.
So
She
they
commits to the bit.
have to
yeah.
do that
And
multiple times, and I just can't imagine as an actress having to fake an orgasm that
What?
strongly over and over.
And how many
and
times
over.
did they bust out laughing and have to restart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was doing a little research on the movie today at the office, and then that scene started playing. I was like, turn down, turn down, turn down, turn down.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Oh
man,
no!
that's great.
I only have one more note about the plot. And before we can talk about the end of the movie, and because that's kind of where the conversation needs to go, because the ending. They have the dinner after they sleep together, and they have salad before a meal, and that pisses me off. I don't like salad before dinner. It makes me mad. Because it's just, here's this food you don't want before you get the food you want.
It's gonna fill you up.
Sometimes a salad is my dinner.
So that's
That's
fine. That's different.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when you're at a restaurant and you order a meal
You don't
and
like
then
a good side salad?
huge ass salad comes and you're like, I have a meal coming, but I have a little baby bird stomach. I can't fit a lot of food
What
in me.
about the bread?
I don't
same
eat the
thing?
bread.
Oh,
We were just at
I will
Harry's.
throw down on some bread.
We were just at Harry's.
Sure.
I didn't have any of the bread.
Oh, it's
because
so
if I
good.
have the bread, I can't
Oh,
eat the food.
Harry's has the
Outback.
good butter.
They do with the garlic. Like
Outback's
my
got
God.
some of the best bread
or
in the
chives,
game.
Yep.
Something I don't know.
And
I'm
Outback,
real
you
hit or
need
miss
to,
on the bread.
Outback-
Sometimes I don't do it. Sometimes I really dive in.
Outback, you gotta have the bread though, because your food's gonna be in 55 minutes somehow, and for the shittiest
And if you
steak
get,
of your life.
I went with David to get French onion soup the other day. It was 1,000 degrees for 30 minutes. It did not cool down.
French onion soup is just 3 things I don't want.
French
French onions and soup.
Yes.
Yeah,
What? How was the?
I
French
have
onion soup?
never.
It was fine. It was my first French onion. It was there's bread in it. There's bread in it, and it got soggy, and I didn't
milestone.
like that.
Ew.
Everything else was fine.
Every time I have soup, I've never had a soup in my life where I have not eaten it and then said, that was better than chili. I would rather have chili every
yeah,
time.
that's-
chili.
If it's hot or if it's cold outside, I don't want a soup because that's stupid. 'Cause
I'll
really
agree
what
to
you're
that
eating-
unless I'm feeling a
No.
broccoli
soup
cheddar.
is water with shit floating in it. It's dumb. You want a chili.
No.
You want
Yeah,
beans
why
and
can't
meat.
they thicken it up a little bit? Why can't they do a normal chunky style soup and then make it thicker?
One of
like
the
a
only soups
chili?
I like
Like
is
a-
broccoli cheddar. Thick,
Oh, yeah.
substantial. I don't want just tepid water
That's
with
what- I guess that's
celery in
more
it.
Stew or bisque is
When
thicker.
you're sick, though, you gotta have.
No, when I'm sick, I want a Big Mac and a Wendy's Frosty.
That's not healthy.
Because
for
I'm
you.
an animal.
Or
Oh,
like
yeah.
a creamy chicken and
or
wild
McDonald's
rice soup.
Sprite.
I don't know.
So good.
Is that better than chili ever? No.
Sometimes
no,
I
it's
don't.
not.
Sometimes, yeah, that's what I want.
No, it's not what you want. You want chili instead. It's better than any soup in the world.
Chili's so heavy though.
It's the best.
Chili
That's
is
what you
Heavy.
want.
It sticks to your ribs.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
I
it-
like
and it-
chili.
It makes it better than any stew
you-
in the world.
Do you put anything in your chili? Any cornbread, crackers?
Absolutely, yes. Oyster,
Cornbread.
oyster crackers.
I
Yes.
never thought of
Cornbread
that.
would be too. It's the same problem with French onion soup. You don't want bread in your
It's
soup.
gonna get. Yeah, cornbread's gonna get dense and then splinter off.
What you never do, not in my house, never, If you put chili over pasta, I'm gonna hit you with a knife.
It's so good.
No,
Done
It's
chili
good.
on rice.
That's New
I've never done
Jersey
chili on
commie
pasta.
bullshit. It's
I-
terrible.
You do that?
In my home,
Not in
There's
my house.
pasta sauce.
in my childhood
and
home,
then there's chili.
in my childhood
not the
home,
same.
we would, you'd put chili over noodles. I only had chili over noodles,
kind of noodles?
until I married this guy, and he doesn't
Like
let me do it.
spaghetti noodles?
No, like
Like angel hair?
like macaroni noodles.
Garbage. This is shit in the way of you enjoying your chili.
No,
Macaroni noodles.
I love pasta. So
We-
why would I not eat any
Here's the-
cheesy chili pasta? What's
I mean,
wrong
I've
with
done it
that?
on rice. I've never done it on macaroni
Not on
noodles.
rice either. What the? What is wrong with
Chili
you
on
guys?
rice, no.
Chili on
No.
rice
No.
is wild.
But the thing is, too, the chili that I make is very
Never mind.
smoky. You don't want pasta in your smoky chili. Stupid.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's
Ooh,
true.
on like a thick
We,
Texas toast. Oh my god.
Or
we
like,
would do peanut butter sandwiches with our chili.
What?
why?
No.
Why are you putting shit in the way of eating chili?
No, not on it or in it, just
With it? No.
Why is
Unnecessary.
it
Just
with
contained
it.
in any possibility? Why?
eat more chili. Why would you have a separate meal next to your meal? It's salad all over again, but weirder.
Is that better or worse than cinnamon rolls?
Worse.
Worse?
Because
Cinnamon rolls with chili?
are a dessert.
That's what Midwestern people
That's
do.
what Midwestern people do.
I've
Cinnamon
never heard
rolls.
that.
Yeah,
That's
they do
wild.
cinnamon rolls, but not in it. Like I would never put that in my
It's like
chili.
on the side.
But if I finished my chili and a cinnamon roll was there, I wouldn't be mad. If I finished my chili and a jelly sandwich was there, I'd be like, I'm 7.
Not a jelly, just a peanut butter.
Worse.
Peanut butter on
Just
white
some
bread.
white
Because
bread?
then you're just like,
Take a bite, eat some chili, take another bite.
What?
That's just
What
how
are you talking about?
it's just a sandwich. You eat a sandwich with your chili.
did you do this growing up?
That's
Oh,
way
yes.
worse than
Where you live
noodles.
next to the river with all the poison in it.
Yeah, and where I live next to the city nicknamed Chemical Valley.
Yeah, yeah.
That place.
So you were basically a Fallout ghoul eating your peanut butter sandwich with chili. What is wrong?
Oh.
I just want to eat chili.
What? God, I feel like there's something else that's even crazier.
like the working Oklahoma man eats chili, and that is with beans. You hear me? Texas, you stupid hick state. You put beans in chili. They don't there.
like beans in
and they
chili.
should
What
be
is it? It's
they
just
should be
meat?
kicked out of the union. Yeah, they're just like meat is good.
No,
they're Texas.
I mean,
and
meat is good, but what? Like,
I hope
that's
they
just ground.
I hope they
meat.
enjoy it when they freeze to death because their shitty power grid can't keep up. You put beans in chili and you put pasta nowhere near it, and not a sandwich for a toddler.
Okay,
with your
peanut
chili.
butter sandwich worse than pasta
yeah.
though.
Did
Yes.
the peanut
No.
butter sandwich
No, no, no.
accompany
No, no, no.
any
Pasta's
other
worse.
meals?
Pasta's worse.
Pasta's worse.
Pasta goes.
No.
yes.
You're mixing
You're-
it in the chili.
You know why? Because you're reducing chili to a topping at that point.
It's not a top.
It
You
is.
really
Oh,
it's a
that's
topping.
true.
You are topping pasta with chili, and that's horseshit. It's terrible.
Peanut butter sandwich worse than.
Because it's next to it, so it's not
No.
violating it.
Wrong.
It's not
I
violating
mean,
it.
sometimes we
No,
dip it.
listen, I'm on the chili throne
No.
here. I'm
Sometimes
the
you
authority.
dip it.
No, no. Can you imagine peanut butter
gotta
with like
stop
meat?
right now. You need to stop
Listen,
this.
I'm sweating. I'm so
Just
mad
try it.
about chili. No, I will
just try
never
it.
do that.
Just like the sweet pickle.
no.
Just try it.
Not this
Your
shit
food
again.
opinions are trash, dude. Trash.
Did the peanut butter sandwich accompany any other kind of food, or is it always a staple with the chili?
I mean, you can have them by themselves. You can have them with
That's how most
chili.
people do it.
That's a
You
sandwich.
can have them with some chips. You can have peanut butter sandwiches with anything.
No, not with chili. What the hell is wrong?
Okay.
Why
peanut
what?
butter on pancakes?
Yeah.
On pancakes? On pancakes, you're gonna shred the pancake trying to get the peanut butter on it.
That's true.
Peanut butter on a waffle though every time.
It'd be like
Okay.
if you had chips and salsa every time you had pizza. It's like, why do you have to do those things together?
yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
No.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's two different things. It's like you can have chips with anything. It's like, well, sure, but you don't always do it with another thing. Like it's not.
Oh yeah, you know
I don't.
the best thing ever is a bowl of Frosted Flakes and right next to it some spaghetti bolognese. Like no, it doesn't go together. You don't do those two things. It's madness. It's madness. Oh my god.
I run in my Lunchables. It's like what?
Yeah, listen, I do
weird.
chili right and no one else does. And if you don't do chili the way I do it, you're not making chili right. And I will fight the whole state of Texas with my bare hands.
I don't
Beans
like a
go in
loose
chili.
I don't like a watery loose chili.
No,
You
no,
gotta
no.
have
No, no,
thick
no.
Chili
Thick,
is
yeah.
thick. It has big, dark red, delicious, succulent chili beans in it. Kidney beans, big, dark red kidney beans.
Keep going. What
Any
else?
jalapeno?
Jalapeno,
diced jalapeno?
absolutely.
Okay.
Smoked paprika. Sometimes
yeah.
a bell pepper if you're spicy.
We did that once.
Rotel
It didn't add
tomatoes with
anything.
the green chilies in it. A ground meat of your choice. I have done venison. I have done beef. I have done ground
chili.
turkey. And it all kind of tastes the same because we
was all
put
good.
so many spices in it that it's just smoky.
We're supposed to use
rich.
the chipotle peppers and adobo, but,
Yeah, but
I
it's-
always waste like most of the cans.
Yeah, you
so
buy
we just
an
use
89-cent
jalapeno
can
instead.
so we just do a big jalapeno in there. It's the best. Now,
It's really
the
spicy.
one additive to chili other than oyster crackers, my parents used to make chili that was more of a, like it might have even had taco seasoning in it. Like it was more of a Tex-Mexy kind of chili. And we didn't use spoons. We scooped it with like chips, like tortilla chips. That is acceptable.
Ooh,
But
the
that's not
scoops.
like the way that my chili tastes. I wouldn't put a chip near it because it's I don't know. It's like I don't know. You gotta have a big I want a big wooden spoon.
We've done Fritos with our chili before.
Yeah, that's true. But I
Fritos
want
is good.
I want to eat
Fritos,
it.
yeah.
I want
They have
chili
the crunch.
that you can picture yourself eating on an Oklahoma ranch out of a tin cup by a bonfire. And if you have spaghetti, you can't do that because you're being a terrorist.
That's bad.
I hate it so much. We just spent 20 minutes talking about chili instead of
The guy that does those Wild West paintings, Cameron, I just want him to do one with a guy and he's got like the chili and then just a bag of like white bread and another thing of peanut butter next to him. And he's just sitting by the fire and it's just like a classic Western
some
motif.
Peter Pan crunchy just next to a horse.
And a can of beans. Just like, you know. how
Everything
grandpa's
else in
good.
the painting is like brown, and you just got this red lidded
Jif.
Jif. It's like, oh, he's a choosy mom.
Choosy Cowboys choose Jif. Man.
Anyway, if you have different chili opinions than me, piss off, die.
Oh.
The ending of the movie sucks.
Oh.
Sucks. Stupid. Because she's so pissed off at him for no reason. I want
Well,
to be
so
on a.
she thinks.
I want to be on a woman's side, but she's crazy.
I think she's just misinterpreting him. So she thinks he doesn't really care or he
She's-
feels bad.
she's crazy.
So he doesn't really love her. So he's just saying like that because he's just feels guilty that they slept together.
Am I being dismissive and terrible by thinking that she's horrible at the end of the movie?
She's dramatic. It's overreaction. And she doesn't communicate.
Gonna have her,
Her
say
feelings.
because if I say it, I get crucified. And I like women.
Cameron Dials.
I've been called a feminist before.
No, I think she overreacts and then she doesn't give him a chance to explain anything. She just gets mad and runs away and slaps him at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey, this was your best friend.
Bad person.
Hear him out.
Yeah.
And then
Well, they've built their whole relationship on we're just friends.
Also, they're
And then
both
it gets
wigged
weird.
out. Yeah.
so she hates. Literally, she's like, "I hate you," and then kisses him, and the movie ends.
When
Yeah, she says it 3
has
times.
like the wistful eyes, when she's saying "I hate you," she's really saying,
It's
I
like the
love
10
you.
Things I Hate About You poem. It's like
Yeah.
she hates that she loves him.
Right. Both movies have stupid endings. Except in this movie, there's
yeah.
there's no, to Carl's point, there's no guitar at the end to
guitar.
make everything better. It's just, you know what we get instead of a guitar? A stupid piece of camera. Which is, of course, like it's you after the second one, you're like, I know how the movie ends. Which is why they're bad. You know the movie's gonna end with those two looking at a camera and going, "That's why Harry met Sally."
Yeah.
And it sucks.
You know what would have been a way better ending?
If they all died because an asteroid hit New York City.
Wow.
If it ended whenever she slapped him and then they lost touch and never got together.
That wouldn't be a better movie. Then you'd be mad. You'd be
Nick
like,
wants to turn the rom-com into Inside Llewyn Davis.
Yeah.
you'd be so frustrated if that was the ending. If you spent an hour
Yeah.
and like 30
No,
minutes
I was
and you were
rooting
like,
for that
that's
to
it?
happen the whole time.
Nah.
I don't want them to
She
get
slaps
together.
him and then just
Boo.
credits in the way that you use it.
And they would pair well with a peanut butter sandwich.
Ugh.
Eat a peanut
It's
butter.
just him sitting at his table alone with chili and peanut butter.
Chili's one of the weird things that I'm incredibly passionate about, and I will hear no alternatives.
I mean, there's a lot of things you feel that way about.
Not that passionately.
I guess.
Star
I'm starting
Wars
to come around.
chili.
I think Nick needs to make a cookbook now with all of his weird
Ooh.
recipes.
Yeah, the DuPont water
Yeah.
cookbook.
I just want
Poison
to
in the
see.
well. The
It
Nick
would be a
Fitzpatrick.
hit, an absolute hit in West Virginia. And nowhere
You got to
else.
do that. Yeah.
Oh,
Well-
dude, it's just the cuisine for people that wear overalls with nothing under them.
This movie, though, played It Had to Be You by Frank Sinatra. That's a point.
It's one of my favorite
true.
Sinatra songs. It's the song that we should have danced to
Do
at
we
our
have
wedding.
Speaking of
Cameron's
points,
song. Points?
Do you have hot points?
Kind of.
Kind of.
Overall, I don't find him hot. But I did give him a point. I almost redacted my point, but I did not. But when she calls him because she's upset over Joe getting married, and she's like, just come over, and he's comforting her.
I'll be right there, yeah.
I'll be right there. There's a moment where he's giving her a hug and something, and I was like, that's nice. So you got a point for that.
So he's a
that's
one,
nice.
a one, no, 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
That's pretty high.
I know. I feel like you should be lower. I see. There was another point. Says,
This is a flaw in your system because you started a 5.
well,
But maybe he's just a 6.
maybe he's just
that's
a 6.
a
That's
resoundingly
only
mid
slightly
individual.
over average. I will say though, at one point, Meg Ryan's character remarks on him being better without the beard. I disagree. He's better with the beard. The
Dog,
beard was good.
dog just hit me right in the testy.
Yeah, he looked like an intellectual or like an author
Yeah,
with the beard.
He did.
Like he was writing novels.
I
So
like a little. You need a little bit of something.
a 6
you know?
out of 10 is a golf
Yeah.
clap.
Yeah.
So
Yay, Billy Crystal.
good for
Don't
you. You're not
don't
the
look
worst.
at
He was
him
very
now, because wow.
thin. Well, he's old. He
Yeah,
can't
he's
help
old.
it.
But hey, props to him for aging.
Yeah. Hey, let your
know?
face
Gotta do it.
age.
Props to him for aging. Okay.
We saw a TV show with Rashida Jones on it, and it was like, dude, less Botox, please.
Oh,
Just
really?
be old. Now she's not doing
Oh.
the filler, like, you know what I mean?
Well, what's weird is like, so the bottom half of her face you can see her age, but the top half doesn't move. So that's why it's weird because it doesn't
Like your
match.
forehead, yeah.
It's like just let your forehead be wrinkly too, man.
Yeah.
She
Come on,
only had
Rashida.
like one wrinkle.
Yeah.
You're so gorgeous.
Come on. We love you the way that you are, Rashida Jones.
Yeah.
All right, I have a question, and it's already been answered, but I wrote this down, so I want to pose this to the show. What is a more compelling rom-com arc to you? Spending most of the movie as pals, growing into animosity, making up at the end, a la this movie, 10 Things I Hate About You, or spending most of the movie as enemies, growing into friends, ending up as lovers, a la You've Got Mail. I think the You've Got Mail approach sets the movie up for a more rewarding ending.
And more exciting to watch.
A little, but
Like,
not as
To
compelling
quote
of a watch.
The journey.
Because there's not as much of the struggle because you start with it. So this movie, When Harry Met Sally, ... you feel more tension because they liked each other then she hated him and he had to get her back. So that is a more of a roller coaster up and down ride. But I still much prefer the
It
You've
didn't
Got
feel
Mail.
like a roller coaster though in this. It felt very kind of stagnant.
And you know the other
compared
one,
to-
you're right. I think that's valid. And
Like You've Got Mail, that hate to love seems like a bigger flip, and it was more fun to watch.
And I think it's better. And I think the other rom-com, my golden goose, holy grail. I started with golden. I want to say holy grail. Rom-com is also a start as enemies and grow into lovers, and that is The Big Sick
Wait,
That's
to a
great
huge
movie.
degree.
that's enemies to lovers? That's
Yeah.
not enemies to lovers.
Yeah, she after she gets sick, she hates him.
Yeah, but they already had a relationship. Enemies to lovers is more like there's
I
no
guess that
like
one's a bit of a ride.
there's no pre-existing like niceness between the two.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so.
they had a honeymoon phase, and then it fell out, and then it was.
So maybe that
you know.
movie is just the a former proposition just executed better.
You've Got Mail's just fun because you have the real life relationship and the online relationship both happening at the same time, and they're both different. So that was
Which that
And
also
fun.
kind of pokes a hole in my hull with because they're friends, but they don't know that. So they have the online versions
Yeah.
of them that are really close.
yeah,
What-
they got to get
what
over their
made-
own hang-ups.
What made You've Got Mail work for me was because you know they're going to get together in the end,
Of course, it's a
regardless
rom-com.
of enemy or not. But what was fun about You Got Mail is you don't know how they're going to get to that point.
Right.
So you're still kind of on the edge of your seat. And it's like, well,
That's
how
true.
is it going to happen was the question the whole time I was watching that movie.
I just really
Where this
don't.
was just like, this is very clear.
I just really don't like the ripping of the tablecloth off of she hates him now. I feel that's dumb. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Kills the momentum. It made her an enemy in my mind, like as a viewer, pretty quick. And I was like, well, now we hate this lady. And maybe that's just me being a man. Maybe I'm supposed to hate him for going
Well,
to
I think
work.
that's
You
the
can hate 'em
question
both.
of the movie is male, female, can they be friends, perspective, how it's different. I mean, so that makes sense.
Which I guess the answer is no, right? Because they couldn't be friends.
Yeah,
they
the
ended up being
answer is
lovers.
no.
The answer is no.
But what will our answers be to hit, mid, or miss? I don't have a
Ooh,
music for that.
segue.
It's a good segue though.
Miss.
Ooh.
Mid as hell. Like lower end of mid. I wouldn't watch this one again.
I'll go mid too.
Mid.
It's not one of my faves.
It's a mid ass movie. Carl,
Yeah, I think mid as well.
what a mid movie.
Mid.
Nick hated it.
Yeah.
I did.
It was
I don't
mid.
understand why this is on the top of all of the like
It is.
best
It
rom-coms.
has its charm and stuff, but yeah, it just didn't.
It is
didn't
charming.
Do it, the same way.
It has charm,
Yeah.
but it's all second act charm. Then you get into the third,
Yeah.
and it's just a shit show.
I wanted more backstory, I think. Or not backstory, just
They
more
didn't have any.
more context to who they were as people other than just their encounters with each other.
Well, that's what you get though.
Like at one point they were both dating other people. That just happened and then it wasn't happening.
I disagree because we are along for their relationships ride, and them not knowing each other and then learning to know each other is the ride of the movie. It doesn't matter their other relationships; they're inconsequential, literally, because they become inconsequential
Yeah.
in the thing.
I just
So,
didn't like that.
so you just don't like the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's a flaw of the movie. I think it's the exact point they were trying to make, and I think they nail it. But I think it
Yeah.
sucks. Stupid.
Yeah.
It's a bad
He
movie.
reminded
Now-
me of George Costanza a lot too.
Yeah, a little bit. But if
yeah.
George was less, like a more put together George Costanza.
Yeah, I was like watching Abed and Britta.
He's
like,
a George.
Have a courtship.
He's a George and Jerry
Yeah.
centaur, where Jerry's the man part, George is the horse. I don't know why, but in my head that's how it makes sense.
Thank you for clarifying.
I have another question. We've watched 4 rom-coms. We spent a month. What do we think of the genre? I know it's unfair. We've technically watched 5 because The Big Sick we watched last year.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Of the rom-coms we've watched, I've watched some other ones that are like, I would rather jump off a bridge than watch 50 First Dates again. Holy crap.
Oh yeah.
Stupid movie.
But you've watched The Proposal and that you like.
I love The Proposal, and I also recognize that is a terrible movie, but I like it.
Well, I think we've kind of discovered that rom-coms aren't really good movies.
No, they're not. They're
I love
vapid.
them.
I feel like so much of it depends on if you like the cast. Like
Yeah.
Which the one that we liked had Tom Hanks in it. But to refute that point, I love Frank Sinatra, and on second viewing, High Society was a bummer. That movie is bad.
And liking Meg Ryan from You've Got Mail didn't save this movie for me. I didn't like her in this.
You've Got Mail has a lot of rewatch charm.
I would watch You've Got Mail
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I
I would
love it.
never
It's so
watch
good.
When Harry Met Sally again.
Yeah.
I mean, I as a genre like a rom. I mean, obviously, because this is part of why we're doing this. So, but I mean, I don't like all of them. Like just because I say like, oh, I like rom-coms. There's definitely some that I also am like. Ugh,
I just don't
that was
understand.
bad.
I feel like the ones we watched were very, will they get together? They get together.
That's a
But there's,
rom-com.
well, no.
yeah, I feel like that's the genre.
Because like I'm thinking,
Shrek.
I forget the.
it's Shrek.
Maybe I'm misremembering the movie, but there's a movie with I think Gerard Butler where it's like he's dead or she's dead,
Yes, I
and he's
Love You?
writing letters to her, and like it's a whole other different vibe.
Yes,
I don't
I
know
Love
if that's
You.
I think so. I haven't.
I don't know
seen
if that's a rom com, but like that's more in my head what I was thinking. Just like the romantic. I guess the comedy part.
You want a
isn't in there.
romance
Possibly
movie.
I just want
romantic.
romance. Yeah, never mind. I got
See,
there. I just had to
want,
talk through it.
I don't want that at all. I don't want that at
Cameron
all.
wants heavy on the com.
I
Well,
want more calm. Or not necessarily, actually, because
maybe I just don't want them both together.
Big Sick was pretty dramatic.
That's true.
That one relied heavily on the drama aspect. It was really funny, but
feel
it
like
was
there's gotta be
it was
more.
like dark humor. Like
Yeah.
we lost 12 of our best guys. It's trying to make jokes in light of an absolutely terrible situation.
Right.
Whereas there's again zero stakes in this movie. It's none at all, and there's not any stakes in You've Got Mail either. But that one has the huge benefit of having Tom Hanks in it.
It's true.
I mean, one of my other favorite rom-coms was just Sweet Home Alabama. We didn't watch it, but it has a lot higher stakes. Like there's careers involved. There's it's not quite enemies to lovers because like they get married in high school, get divorced, she moves away to New York, finds a new guy, has to go home. It's very like that Hallmark, like she comes back to her small town.
Well, and the proposal
sees the guy.
The proposal has the whole element of it's a sham. It starts out as a sham so that Sandra Bullock's character can keep her job. They turn out loving each other, and then they end the movie in the exact same place they started, in the ethics department questioning room, which is a cool way. It's a nice full circle-y kind of moment. And also that movie has the huge bonus of having not only Sandra Bullock, but Ryan Reynolds in it. And Betty White.
I feel like you have to have a good angle
That's a
to your
good
rom-com.
I mean,
Why didn't we watch that one? What
Has
the
that
heck?
email angle.
I brought up the proposal at least 75 times, and Danielle didn't want to watch it because we've seen it
He's seen it a million times. Listen,
It's a good movie. It
never
sucks.
get him
It's
to
not a
watch
good
these.
movie. It's a vapid piece of shit movie.
We'll
but
have
it's
a
good.
it's
I
not
like it.
vapid. We'll have a movie night and we'll watch it for funsies.
That movie.
Doesn't he chop wood with his shirt off or something?
No.
Nope.
Oh,
Not in
Doesn't he
this.
chop wood in
I was
a
gonna say I'm in.
sweater? Maybe I know.
I
he
don't
chops
think there's
wood.
any
He
wood
can chop
chopping.
my wood with his shirt off.
He's chopping wood. He's doing something outside in the snow, and she's watching. I remember.
Shivering?
Maybe not.
Shivering, shirtless in the snow.
I mean,
No.
It does take place
It
up
was when
north
they went to
somewhere.
Alaska.
they
Yeah.
go to Alaska. I
Yeah.
don't remember any wood.
Yeah, he was doing something outside with.
How
his,
would we have forgotten that? Because it's Ryan Reynolds with his shirt off.
I mean, there's a
Maybe he
scene
didn't have
where
a
he's
shirt
like
off, but he's doing something
he's
manly.
exercising, and then he comes back, and like she's in the shower, and then they're like,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
both naked. Like,
Yeah.
oops.
Betty White.
That old cliche.
Betty White fakes her death in that movie. It's really funny. That's a good movie. Maybe it's a good movie. I don't, no, it's
It
not.
is.
That movie sucks, but it's good.
To answer your question, I'm not out on rom-coms.
Yay.
I think I need to watch more to have a better opinion.
I
feel like there's more
but
types.
do you understand what? I
There
feel
is.
like I understand why they don't make them anymore.
Aw.
And it's the larger. It's a symptom of the larger problem of there's no mid-budget movies. We've talked about this for 3 episodes in a row somehow.
Yeah.
But like, there's no rom-coms left
Well, the rom-com's not gonna make millions of dollars.
unless it's Crazy Rich Asians.
I love Crazy Rich Asians.
Why didn't we
Crazy
watch
Rich
that?
Or
I thought it was too new.
I don't want to sound like a certain type of person here, but do newer movies need to be a commentary on real life now? Like, are rom-coms not
Nope. You know
real
why?
enough?
Nope. Because the only thing that gets made is MCU movies and shit.
Yeah, but even
It's the
those, like, they
worst.
touch on
and Jumanji and stupid remakes that don't need to happen.
real life topics though. Still with those.
Oh, give me a
I'm just saying
break.
No, I'm not saying that that's good or I like it. I'm just saying rom-coms are so fantastical that maybe that's lost in appeal a little bit.
Well, they did make another. They
Spider-Man.
just released a rom-com. I haven't seen it. It was Sydney Sweeney and Dippity Face from Top Gun. I don't know how that
Yeah.
did, but
Well,
the problem is everybody in
rom-coms
rom-coms
exist. They're
are too,
direct to Netflix now.
they're too hot now. Like
True.
they're not Billy Crystal in a sweater being sarcastic. It's like, oh, here's my rippling abs and my sexy girl with her perfect hair and her perfect lips. Ugh. Too
like
perfect.
that-
Too perfect.
They're almost, but they're too stupid too.
Yeah.
Too glossy. Yeah.
Too glossy, too stupid. Maybe it's the budget put behind them or lack there. I don't know. We have a real problem with cinema right now in that everything's a remake, and a lot of that's the writer's strike. Everything's a remake or a freaking
Been remakes
superhero
for a
movie.
really long time though.
And superhero, the MC, like we have to kill superhero movies before we can have good movies again. Is kind of where I'm at, and I know that I'm a insane minority because I don't get the MCU obsession.
Marvel
I don't
should have
get
ended
it.
with Endgame is where I'm at.
Marvel should have ended with the Avengers. Like
Well,
I don't
know about that.
That's the last one where I was like, I want 0 more of this. And you know why? It's because it was so set piecey. And guess what it became even more of? It became set piece. I watched Guardians too, and I was like, yeah, it's all right because Chris Pratt's in it. And there's a talking raccoon
Guardians
in a tree.
fine.
But like, I don't care. There's nothing compelling that makes me want to see any superhero movie
Then it's-
at all.
It seems like they're all kind of getting the same flavor, but at least like the Batman was a newer kind of superhero take that I think was well received.
Well,
and
because
it's
it
like,
was
okay, well,
really
there's
that's a
well,
noir
there's still
film.
life in the genre, but it's not the same cookie cutter
It's a
approach.
really
You have
dark
to find
noir
something
film,
distinct.
But also
Yeah.
Batman.
So it can be done, though. Is what all I'm saying.
Carl didn't really say what he thinks about rom-coms.
Yes, God, please.
Oh, Well, I mean, if we have time. I mean, I
No, we have
thought
time.
they're fine. I think I liked most of them. I don't think it's a genre that I would ever go seek out. I think it's
No.
one of those where I think I can appreciate. Like, I think I appreciated When Harry Met Sally for most. It's not one I would watch again. Outside
No,
of like,
I feel like the ending makes that
screenshotting
movie
that the orgasm scene for a meme, but like, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not gonna like. Yeah, go rewatch that. But I enjoyed like You've Got Mail. I thought 10 Things I Hate About You was pretty okay, and like I feel like the music is really the backbone for these movies. Like throughout each one, they all kind of have like a really good soundtrack.
They give a lot of personality.
It's also like how you can carbon date them.
Yeah.
They're very.
Yeah.
Now, When Harry Met Sally was a little different because it had some groovy older music in it. It had Louis Armstrong and Frank Sinatra singing "Had to Be You" and others. Ella Fitzgerald at one point.
They all kind of seem to go for a Christmas scene too. At least
What was
in
the,
You've Got Mail, they had a Christmas scene. They had a
Christmas
Christmas
tree.
scene
I did
here.
notice that.
What was,
What was the tomato?
That's Let's Call the Whole Thing Off.
Who was that? Do you
That's
know?
Louis Armstrong, and the
okay.
version that I like is actually a duet with Ella Fitzgerald. Very good song. Ella
Yeah, I
Fitzgerald
like that
is
one.
she's got one of the best voices ever in the history of the world, and it's actually why I think the Rolling Stone put out like a top 50 vocalists of all time,
on
and
there?
there were no women
Oh.
on it, which is disgusting. And like
wrong.
I think they put Freddie Mercury at number one, which that dude had an incredible range. I get it, but no Frank Sinatra,
What?
no Ella Fitzgerald. No, basically no one from the 40s and 50s, and it just made me want to. I
What
almost
was the
shattered.
list?
I think like I don't know. It was a bunch of like pop rock, gross, like mid 2000s, and like they put the dude from Guns N' Roses, whose
There's
name
probably
escapes
nobody
me.
from musical theater on there, and they have some insane voices.
And it's like, yeah,
Disrespect.
Axl Rose. It's like, yes, Axl Rose can sing in like 3 different, whatever you call them.
Falsettos? I don't know.
No, whatever soprano and whatever.
Octaves?
Yeah, like he can sing in 3 octaves with power. Cool. Guns N' Roses is like pales in comparison to any of the other names that I would have put on the list. Like, I don't know. I think you're just like shoving it up your own ass to leave like Ella Fitzgerald and some of these big names off. So, hey, Rolling Stone, dumb.
We did it.
Rom-coms are fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. I never want a month like this again.
gonna
We
say,
gotta,
it's our last
do,
one.
we gotta do better themes.
This was a pet peeve I had. Harry meets Sally the first 5 seconds of the movie. So I was like, well, it's all downhill from here. Like, what do you do now?
Yeah, the
Like,
movie's
we
called
already met Sally.
When Harry Met Sally. That's the first part of the movie.
Yeah, and then I guess the ... was the other.
But you know what? I guess Star Wars is called Star Wars for no reason.
Yeah, they never say Star Wars once.
Thank God.
They're in the star, and there's a war.
We're having a Star Wars.
Yeah.
It has been a Star Wars.
Speaking of Star Wars, our next movie we got to mention
Ooh.
inspired Star Wars, not the movie. Although the movie is better than anything Star Wars has done in about 40 years. We're gonna watch Dune Part 2. I'm
In theaters.
so excited. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch
I'm
it
just,
on
IMAX.
VHS.
I'm just proclaiming that I'm excited.
No,
that
we're really
going to
excited.
the
We're
theater.
not watching it in IMAX because we're watching it with my father-in-law. He couldn't make the IMAX
Couldn't
time,
make it.
so we have to watch it on the slightly less silver screen.
It'll
Hopefully
still
less
be.
crowded.
It'll still be
Silver.
great.
I doubt it. Well, maybe, but no. I have to then immediately go back and see it probably next weekend.
I was surprised how many of the showtimes were sold out, or not sold out, but like the tickets that had sold were like all middle, and I was like, God, all the way back, dude. It was just I kept clicking for different times, trying to find
So
something.
excited! You just watched Dune Part 1 for the first time.
I've
You
gotta
have to
rewatch.
rewatch it with either me or David or somebody because it's a lot. I've read the book. I have to finish the book for God's sakes. I got to read like the devil for the
Gotta
next
get on
couple
it.
days. But yeah, we're gonna watch Dune, and then some other kind of bigger movies that we missed, and some other stuff in the next month. So look out for that. We're gonna finally hit some new releases for almost the first time in the show,
Yeah. Except for the machine.
except for the machine, which wow.
Hey.
So hey, Dune Part 2. So excited that the episode won't be just on Part 2. We're gonna probably talk Dune as a whole because it makes the most sense. Maybe with a little bit of an emphasis on Part 2. Maybe it'll be a 3-hour episode. Who knows? You'll know though next week, and we'll catch you then.